You're tuned into the hottest paranormal life show on YouTube, Into the Fringe, where we discuss lost civilizations, UFOs, cryptids, unsolved mysteries, megalithic structures, extraterrestrials, interdimensional portals, time skips, and more. Don't change that channel, because now you are leaving the mainstream and entering into the fringe.
Greetings, followers. It is I, your host, Cardinal Sin. And with me this very special episode is my expert co-host, Mexican Iron Man.
Hi, Cardinal Sin.
How are you, sir?
Well, let's just say that Mexican Alien Man has had happier days and is a little frustrated today. Let's just say what's the word I want to use? Let's just say that my unidentified aerial phenomena device ship is not exactly flying like a happy camper today.
No?
No.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm a little hot like a jalapeno under the Alien Man collar, if you know what I mean.
A little hot under the Mexican collar there?
Yes, sir. Or Latino, but never Latinx.
No.
Don't say that.
No, there's no need for Latinx. Either you have a Latino or a Latina.
Yes, Cardinal. Yes.
Or just Latin. Or just Latin.
Yes. Yes.
I understand these things.
You're brilliant. And we have to go into the fringe to find basic knowledge. But let's just say Mexican Alien Man is a little bit upset and frustrated. And I'm not sure if I want to disclose why.
I think I take your meaning, sir.
Did you catch that, brother?
I did.
Ba-boom, bam. Ba-boom, bam.
Our good friend.
The comedy tonight.
Our good friend Golgo13, a.k.a. Brandon the Infinite Wolf, says, Secret Alien Man.
Secret
Alien Man.
Secret
Alien Man.
You're trying to get me in a good mood. You stop that.
And he says, hell yeah. Well, thanks for being here, you guys. I do appreciate it. I want to get this out of the way as soon as I can. Please, obviously, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content on the Cardinal Sin channel.
Yeah.
And because the StreamBot Elements bot is here, but not the tip jar, if you should feel the need to tip me or buy me a coffee, you can do so where it says Cardinal Sin's tip car. That was a typo. Sorry. But the rest of it is correct. And if you go to that link, you can give me $1. You can give me a car, anything in between. Doesn't matter. And so that's enough of that.
Oh, okay. Well, if given the option, I might go closer towards the $1 than the car. But okay, but I guess that all
a $1 could be nice.
Yeah,
I could use $1.
And then when you go in there to do a tip action, you can also disclose anything you want. If you have a comment or like a nice words of positivity or something like that, should you be so inclined to disclose anything at all whatsoever that you might be on your mind.
Hail, kinky sphincter.
Hail! Whoop, that didn't come out right. Oops. Oops. Hey! Sorry.
So I get the impression that you'd kind of like to lead off with something today.
Well, I'm not going to mention any names, but a certain guy who's very proud to be your co-host, or expert co-host, as you call me, who still, by the way, is still suffering from alien nanites. As you can see, there's
obviously
been medical doctors, similar to people in government. The medical doctors are unaware of any. My medical doctors both do not know and are unsure about what are these nanites and how they have turned what was normally a good-looking Antonio Starco Mexican Iron Man into this abomination that we see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this abomination. No one is going to be invited. No ladies will be inviting me to their local Sadie Hawkins dance like this.
Have you tried getting out of the suit?
Oh, Huh.
I mean, that might help.
Let's just say Mexican Iron Man has had one too many burritos and enchiladas on the drive to South Carolina. I'm not sure if I can get out of this iron suit.
Oh, okay. I see.
I mean, I could, but I think I need to go on Amazon and order like a gallon of Crisco or something and, loosen things up, if you know what I mean.
Hey, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah. And that won't be a pretty, we're not going to live stream on that. That's not going to be sexy at all. That's definitely, we're going to lose what subs we got are going to be gone. Well, let me tell you why I'm a little hot under the collar here, Mr.
Okay.
Cardinal, Mr. Cardinal Sin Cardinal.
That'd be me.
Okay. Well, somebody was booked for tonight's show and was all going to talk about a certain report that was supposed to be disclosed earlier in the month. And then there was talk that it would be disclosed Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of this week. And here we find ourselves on Thursday in the evening. And guess what?
June 30th.
Well, there was talk that it would be, that's not what they're saying. They're now saying June 30th. And why isn't it now? Like, what's the difference? Why isn't it happening earlier in the month? Do you know how old I have? Do you know how long I've been waiting for disclosure? Do you know?
You and me both, brother. Yeah.
Do you know how long? Look, I don't want to give my age away to the sexy ladies that might see this, stream later. Actually, I don't know if any ladies at all are going to see the stream later because we're kind of nerdy. But let's just say that I'm a little bit older than, let's see, how do we give this away? Definitely older than the advent of the modern internet. What was that, 2001? 98, 96?
Oh, 90.
When did America Online come out?
Actually, 93? Well, there's a difference between the World Wide Web and the internet. The internet started out as ARPANET.
That was 1950s. I'm not that old.
But the World Wide Web, I remember searching on the new Doctor Who movie using Trumpet Windsock and Netscape together. And that was about 1995 because the movie came out in 1996. So,
let's just say Mexican Iron Man was a young man of legal age. Maybe older, but when that
fair
happened.
enough.
In any event, as you know from my library, I have read darn near. Sorry, I didn't want to say any no words. No.
Yeah, you can say as many no words on my channel as you like.
We're an anti-no channel here?
Yep.
We're taking a stand?
You can say fuck all.
Oh, you scared the nanites that are down in my groinal region there, right there. They're moving around now. It's a little itchy down there. Oh, ow.
Ligerfan suggests maybe Astroglide.
That is a fascinating idea. Get it? Astroglide? We're a UFO show, Gil. Get it? Boom, bam. That was a good one, bro. In the chat.
That was good. Ligerfan, thank you.
That was a good one. All right, so look, here's the deal. You would think that if a certain senator said that we need a report, you would think if they put a few bucks behind putting together a report, you would think with
not
all the
only
shit
a senator, but the chiefs of the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Yeah, which is a tough phrase to get through when you think about it.
It's
Senate
kind of oxymoronic, isn't it?
It is, brother. It is Senate Intelligence.
It's like jumbo shrimp.
I can't say it.
Military intelligence.
So they're supposed to come out with a report. Look, all right. So look, it's not here. I'm supposed to report back to you and our fine chat friends, Ligerfan. How do you say that? Ligerfan,
yeah.
Ligerfan, Kinky Sphincter, Go, whoever else is out there, the Stream Elements bot. Wait, what? No, I'm supposed to report to you. I thought I'd get the report last night. I thought I'd be perusing it. Doobie doobie da, dabby doobie doo, and basically here I am. Here I am, left. Mexican Alien Man is left out to dry here with nothing to report on, and I'm angry.
Well,
and I'm mad.
You can't report on the actual report because there isn't one yet.
Yes, exactly. I've disclosed more about
things to discuss.
I've disclosed more about the alien infestation nanonites in my iron suit than we're getting from these guys. But it's okay, because guess what I've been reading?
What?
Come on, you can do it. Guess.
No.
Guess?
Just tell me.
Okay. First word starts with an E. Second word starts with a T. The first word might be extra. The second word.
Extraterrestrials.
Yes. Bum bum bum. Are you aware of Ari Loeb? Do you know who Ari Loeb is? He's Jewish.
Avi Loeb.
I'm sorry,
yes,
Avi Loeb. Do you know who Avi Loeb is?
Yes.
He's Jewish. Don't you guys all know each other somehow?
No, there's not an international cabal of Jews trying to take over the world. That's actually I'm an impoverished Jew.
No, I didn't say all of that. Calm down now. You're gonna get me Mexican alien man canceled, and I just got here.
Liger fan says you can't report on things like the planet-sized whatchamacallit that's entering the solar system. I've been hearing that for like 10 years, man.
What part?
That there's, another planet that's entering the solar, like a rogue planet that's entering the solar system, or, from the guy that wrote all the Anunnaki books, which are total bullshit. Planet X, Nibiru, has a 4,600 year cycle, and it comes by the Earth, and they bring slaves onto their ship, and they mine for gold and all this kind of stuff. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, let me tell you what I've been reading. I've been reading Avi Loeb's Extraterrestrial. It's called The Extraterrestrial, the First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth. Fascinating concepts here. I encourage everyone to buy a copy. Now, unfortunately, it's in hard. You right now you have to basically either get a digital copy, or you got to get a hard. What do you call it? Hardcover.
Yeah, soft cover, hardcover. Yeah.
Yeah, the soft covers aren't out yet, though. You know what I mean? But he's this guy who basically right now he keeps going further. First he started with lectures, and then first he started with lectures and a few TV appearances. Then of course, what we had here is that we just had this in Scientific American, okay? And this I do have some breaking news because this came out today.
Oh, cool.
Now he had a book. His book's been out for about a month, okay? And everybody in the chat, it's called Extraterrestrial, the First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth.
Is it a bestseller?
It is. In fact, it's incredibly highly reviewed. It's 4.5 stars.
Wow, that's great.
And what's interesting with him is that
I have breaking news.
Go ahead.
Liger fan said you can't report on other things like the planet-sized whatchamacallit that's entering the solar system. Then he goes on to say another person reported it about 2 hours ago. So I apologize. Perhaps my information is not current.
You see? Well, if you got the link to that, brother, I apologize because I was out walking the dog for the last 2 hours and cleaning the house.
Yeah, Liger fan, please.
Shit, we'll throw it out there. Let's go.
Send me a DM. I'm at Gil Bavel, and we'll put that right on the screen.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Talk to the people for a minute. I think I found it.
If you ever want to get a hold of me via Twitter, that's how you can do it. If you ever want to send me an email, you can do it there. And hail Ivan Ivanovich. So there's my Twitter, Gil Bavel, at Gil Bavel. And there is my personal email, gil@sunflower.com.
Well, I can't find it. I found that from the stuff before about Planet X, the one beyond Pluto. But if there's something else out there,
that's the one that I've heard about for years. But apparently there is a perturbation in other planetary orbits about that. So some scientists think that there is like a dark planet or something like that.
Could be. I'm looking for it, but I don't see it. But maybe you'll get the link. Maybe you'll get the link and whatnot. Maybe you'll find. Maybe you'll be able
to like I said, there's my email. And my tip jar can be located right there, paypal.me/Gil Bavel. If you should wish to buy me a coffee or what have you. Liger fan says that he DM'd me The link. It's on Anton Petrov's channel, which I can't show or I'll get a copyright strike. But it says, whoa, giant comet / minor planet is approaching from the Oort cloud. So what I will do is...
well, that's more breaking than mine. So go ahead and cover. Let's go into that for a little bit if you want. Or do you want to talk about Avi?
I can, or I'll get I've been fighting 3 copyright notices because I played trailers on my Sunday show, and the bastards fucking nailed
me. You got a triple copyright?
All of them. It was just a notice. It wasn't a strike.
Okay, but you got to watch it. If you get 2 or 3 in a row, that puts you on the shit list.
Yeah, let's just say the shit list has been shitted.
Well, anyways, let me talk about the book because I want to talk about it quickly here. So we don't have a lot of time tonight. I want to make sure we get into it. So basically, what he does is he's basically the main thrust of where he's coming from is, why are we acting like ignorant people when we need to have open minds? Because throughout human history, there have been people who were open-minded that were persecuted and then ended up being right.
Yes.
Yeah. We can talk about Galileo.
First, they ridicule you, then they deny you, and then they respect you.
Exactly. And in the case of this UFO report, it's widely believed, as has been reported previously on multiple shows on this channel, that this report that's supposed to come out is basically going to say, hey, the stuff's out there, but it's of a nature that we can't really assess with any confidence as to what it is. So it's going to say what you said, which is it's going to say nothing. All it's going to do is say, hey, yeah, we acknowledge that people are seeing stuff, which at least is a lot better than what it had been for about a good 50, 60 years, which is people would tell, the official line from the government was that everybody's crazy and there's nothing that exists.
Oh, Venus and swamp gas. And yeah.
Exactly. Swamp gas. That
dropping 6 foot tall blonde dummies with Air Force clothing on them from a great height to see how they would break about 4 years after Roswell to explain the bodies at Roswell. That shit didn't fly.
Right. Exactly. And if you look at, one of the things
as Coach would say, that dog won't hunt.
Yeah, exactly. But, he cites, Avi brings up, say, someone like Galileo. He was accused of heresy. Poor Galileo was accused of heresy by the Catholic Church, reeled in.
He was under house arrest for the rest of his life.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
It is.
It's absolutely ridiculous. In any event, so basically what he does is he says, look, if this does represent alien technology, and it could potentially be robotic, is what Avi says. This isn't necessarily that, there's someone, with some kind of organic life type of thing, but they could even be self-replicating machines. And one of the most interesting points he talks about is that, if we look at our current technology, it tends to evolve exponentially. I mean, it really does. Right. In a few years' times, if you look at a time scale, within a few years' times, we're exponentially improving our technology. In fact, so many of the devices, I mean,
look at it. We went from the biplane to the space shuttle in 75 years.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Take electricity, things that we take for granted these days, like basic electricity, that has not been around that long, people. When you look at the course of
the
human
grand
history,
scheme of things, yeah.
We used to wake up with the sun and pack it in with the night, and that's why families tended to stay together. But that's
actually we used to get up in the middle of the night for a couple of hours and then go back to sleep. And we know that because we've seen the diaries of people that wrote about it. And it may be that the human sleep cycle is actually more attuned to 2 4-hour sleep segments rather than 1 hour-long sleep segment.
Yeah.
And
so
they did that even before electricity.
Right.
Maybe they had gas lamps or something. I don't know. But hey, look who's here. Hail, Tim Christ.
Hey ho.
Hail, Darren Wagner.
Hey. So let me just go through the four or five main points here, and this is basically the structure.
Yvette is here. Hail, Yvette.
Hail.
Thank you. Glad to see you guys. Bird of Prey 5 is here. Kapla,
Hail,
my friend. Kapla.
Better tighten up the alien helmet for Bird of Prey. Hail, Bird of Prey. Love you, brother.
Hail, Bird of Prey.
Great show this morning on Loki's Mornings of Mischief.
I was just about to say that.
That was a great show and great video.
A great show.
I'd never heard Bird of Prey use no words before. And he used some no words.
On a channel like Loki's, you can say as many no words as you like.
Oh, I know. Mexican Iron Man has crossed that line many a time. In any case, let me get through my 4 points here. There are 4 sentences. I can't even get through one with you sometimes.
Okay.
All right, listen. So here's what I was basically saying. Look, most stars formed billions of years before our basic sun. Okay, we're now having a technological civilization. If you look at a timescale argument and timescale hypothesis here, they probably had some other. So there's possibly other civilizations that have their science and technology which advanced and create, which to us may seem like magic, but it was created and developed long before we came along with our tiny little telescopes. Which, by the way, that telescope. The technology behind that telescope only recently existed, and we would not have even caught that sucker not even like 20 years ago. Oumuamua, I speak of. In the hardware the technology that they have could be so advanced that it would be like, going back in time 1500s, 1400s with an iPhone. It looked like magic. It would look like, something
except
godlike.
You wouldn't have any cell reception.
Yes, you would not have any cell reception. Just when I'm about to get on my rant, but that's okay. But the point that he's bringing, and I think it's an important one, is that his own colleagues, he's getting more play on places like on podcasts. He's getting more play on almost every channel, except there's one place that he does not have a voice, which is the academic community. Now, he managed to get his article out.
He's a Harvard professor.
He chairs the astronomy department.
He's the chair. Oh my goodness.
Well, former chair.
How much credibility do you want?
Hold on. He gave up the chairmanship. This year because his book came out and he had to go on lecture circuit. But from 2010, he was named chair in 2010. Okay, and had that chairmanship until I think he gave it up in December 2020. Okay, and but he's got a book tour. He's got all kinds of stuff. He's doing podcasts and stuff like that. So he couldn't really do that, But this is a guy who is basically saying, this is a guy who even he was in charge of the Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. Okay, he chaired that. Okay, so this is not someone to be taken lightly. This is someone to be taken incredibly seriously. Yet his own colleagues do not, cannot, will not, refuse to, whatever the hellfire tarnation you want to call it, treat him and his work and treat him and his research within even his point of views. Like they wouldn't have discussions with him. And
do you want to know why? That they won't do that?
Why academic institutions won't? I'd be curious to know your position on the matter.
Because they think they will lose their grant funding and that they may they may lose their tenure and, bringing, what's considered fringe science at best, even though the government is reporting that they're real. They don't know what they are, but they're real. They're too afraid to lose their gravy train. When in reality, they should publish or perish.
That's what I think.
Very good.
Last week, because he's putting out articles left and right. Last week, he put out an article saying that he thought that some of these unidentified aerial phenomena could be like sensors from things like an Oumuamua or some other type of,
mothership.
Like yeah, exactly. That's what he thinks. But his whole premise is let's take a scientific approach. Let's get these government hackers out of this thing, and let's treat this for what it is, which is it's a phenomenon, and we must apply the tenets of science to that phenomenon in order to
scientific method. Absolutely,
exactly. Yes, you finished my sentence. I love it when you do that. I think it turns the nanite probes on in my Mexican Iron Man suit that have turned me into an alien, man. Bird of Prey, if you're still in the chat, I need you to use your connections on your advanced planet in order to get me technology to get rid of these nanites that are in my Iron Man.
Man, they've been itching you for what, months now?
There must be some kind of Krogan anti-nanite alien technology that Bird of Prey can share. Some
Ivan Ivanovich says publishing in modern academia requires that you don't discuss unconventional ideas. Boy, isn't that the truth?
Damn, that's what.
And Bird of Prey 5 has an idea for you. Magnets can pull nanites out. I hadn't thought of that.
Okay, but then they also pull on when you have your
they pull on the suit too.
Yeah, I mean, what if you're wearing an iron thong? Then what happens? Not good stuff, Bird of Prey. Not good stuff.
Yeah, I think getting an MRI would really hurt because those nanites are under the skin.
Yeah.
Not to get off on a
tangent here.
ScarJo movie, but yeah.
I don't know. But that's exactly what it is. I guess you're right. But I never thought we would. It's so obvious that everywhere you turn, look, money has always driven so much. But there was a time where there were various forms of what we would call, I don't know. I mean, capital in a variety of forms. Knowledge could be power, and money could be power, and resources could be power. Now it's just about money drives everything, more so than ever.
Yeah,
we even print more of it when we need to. And I don't know. I was so sure. I've been waiting all month for this damn ass report to come out, and it's just a bucket of disappointment. And what has been interesting though? Have you noticed that all of the top people, all the top UFO minds, are falling over each other to be on shows, do shows, host podcasts, be on?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is crazy. I mean, just the other day, who was it? Our guy that we just had, Stephen Bassett. Hosted Richard Dolan.
Boy, what a great show that was.
Okay, so he hosted Bassett, Dolan. I'm sorry. Bassett and Dolan were guests for the show that was hosted by your buddy
Peter Robbins.
Yep. Boy, that was 2 hours of entertainment.
Well, I think, it was really respectful as far as the debate goes. One waited for the other to finish their point. I think that Stephen Bassett probably had possession of the ball, if you will, for a great deal longer than Richard Dolan did. But Richard was really respectful and waited for him to finish and then, talked about the points that he disagreed with. But overall, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Bro, my boy Stephen Bassett, whom I love, he's been a huge follower for years. He's like a mammal, man. He's like sea base. He takes one breath and he can just go.
Yeah. And especially for a man of a certain age, he really he's like the Energizer Bunny.
Very much so. Now, are you aware of? Do you know who Brent and Blake Cousins are?
Boy, that rings a bell.
Third Phase of the Moon. Have you heard of Third Phase of the Moon?
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to that.
I know, but guess what's going to be happening? Guess what's coming up on July 3rd?
July 3rd.
There's going to be a shootout. Paper here. I'll bring it up on screen. Hold on a second. I'm not going to bring up I'm not trying to promote this. Per se, but I do think it's notable. Let's see, where's my StreamYard link?
Ivan Ivanovich says, it is in the interest of the Department of Defense to throw out red herrings. I believe this whole exercise has been one of those. Well, maybe yes, maybe no.
Why would you say no? I think he's right.
The first part I agree with wholeheartedly. It is in the interest of the DoD to throw out red herrings. However, the part where he says, I believe this whole exercise has been one of those.
Okay.
I disagree.
You
disagree? Respectfully.
How so? Tell me how you disagree.
I think that the videos, which were, published and talked about above the fold of the New York Times were leaked. And I think to a degree, the government or the Department of Defense and the director of national intelligence specifically were forced to disclose a little bit, but only to the degree that they said that we're not going to say whether, there are aliens in these or not. It's possible, but unlikely. But it could be this, it could be that. And I just got done watching a interview with Luis Elizondo, where he continued to hedge and say, I don't want to put any, belief systems into this. Some people think these are aliens. Some people think these are demons. Some people think they're probes. So, and then he mentioned the absolute biggest piece of disinformation in this whole deal, that we're concerned that it could be higher technology from a different nation. And I'm like, what? Come on, give me a fucking break. The United States has been the dominant superpower since the end of World War II, and there's nobody on the planet that has as big a budget as the United States does for defense, and
let alone a black budget.
Yeah, and don't even mention that black budget. Russia and China combined don't spend as much on defense as the United States does. So if we don't have it, they don't got it. Case closed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
George Knapp, when the Iron Curtain fell, George Knapp went to Moscow, and he knew a guy that was in UFOs in the previous Soviet Union, and he asked him if he could bring home some papers, and he did. And they were the exact same things that we had. They had, UFOs hovering over their missile sites, shooting beams into the nuclear weapon storage areas, except on their side, instead of putting them in no-go mode, they put them in go mode, and they couldn't turn them off. So they almost had like a serious incident there. And hail, my good friend, Draco Argentus.
What up, brother?
Thanks for being here, man. Mithy, good to see you, sir. All right. As you were saying.
Well, I've been trying to get this link up, but I can't. I don't know why it's not reading my my screen share. But on July 3rd, Richard Dolan and Third Phase of the Moon are going to do a huge disclosure debate. Now, what Brent and Blake did is they put out. Now, Brent and Blake are more with the Stephen Greer crowd. Did you know that? I'm not sure if you know that.
No.
But so these are the guys that put together that recent disclosure movie with Greer that came out, I think, last year. And they've got a follow-up coming out, I think, later this year.
That movie was profitable, which is not very common.
It was not common. It did very, 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 very well.
Mm-hmm.
Shockingly well.
It was shockingly close to the truth.
Well, you've got to. Richard Dolan does not agree with a lot of with all kinds of stuff that. Here's the thing: you've got to decide what camp you're in. Are you in the camp that says that this is a military? Wait. Let me take a step back here. Do we think this is a military threat from another nation? Yay or nay? The answer is ridiculous. No, of course not. There's no freaking way. That or we have the worst espionage, the worst CIA, the worst
It's the Inspector Clouseau of intelligence.
I mean, it's more egregious than Hitler not taking the time to get out some guys on a boat with at least some binoculars and finding out that the things on the shore in England were inflated balloons and that they were tied down with ropes so they wouldn't blow away and they weren't actually jeeps and stuff, prior to Normandy. I mean, it would be like that kind of. It'd be a bigger colossal intelligence failure than that.
Yeah,
that's another. But it plays off the average person's imagination that, oh my God, someone's getting ahead of us.
Right.
Yeah, right. Are you kidding? We don't allow that shit.
And
come on.
And if I may jump in here, I apologize. The Senate in closed session received their briefing either yesterday or a week ago yesterday. I don't remember. And the declassified report should be available to us yesterday, but they're hedging and hemming and hawing. And I personally think it's going to be a big nothing burger with a bunch of redacted pages and
one more thing, it's going to come out tomorrow, Friday evening, after the news cycle ends, between 3 and 7 p.m. They're going to do a Disney Bob Iger stock story release. Anyway, so that's one camp we can be in. Another camp is, hey, these are our own. These are our own devices. I have a hard time believing that this is our own stuff in any way, shape, or form. And God Almighty, I hope it's not, because I told you that story of when I was on the plane, right? I mean, that's a true story.
Yes.
I was on the plane with that former Navy intelligence guy.
He was a colonel. Yeah.
Yeah. And, he told us, we've got stuff that's 60, 80 years ahead that, folks don't even, we haven't even taken out of the cupboard yet. And I was like, okay, what does that mean exactly?
What it means exactly is that the corporations that are subcontractors to the government of this stuff, drip feed the military and the government technology, and they've got so much stuff up in the pipeline that if they release the newest thing, the rest of it wouldn't be profitable. That's the answer to that.
Yeah, where there's the great divide is on those that say that the aliens are here. Then we gotta say, do we think they're aliens? Yay or nay? Now within that camp, you got to say to yourself, hey, the aliens are here. They're our friends, and we're going to talk to them out in the middle of the desert. And we're going to
contact in the desert is happening. Yeah.
Well, I mean more like the Stephen Greer stuff, like where you go out and
there's a CE5 protocols.
5 protocols. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to look at my phone because you'll delete my CE5 protocols app on my phone. I know you will if you see it. I know you.
I won't delete anything on your phone.
Are you embarrassed if I tell you that I've done the CE5 protocols both in San Jose and
not at all. I mean, I've seen the footage where he's vectored in, spacecraft. I've heard the rumors that at least on 2 occasions a UFO landed and entities came out. So I mean,
did I tell you that I had tickets to attend his event that was in February of this year? And I was in February, but I couldn't go because my leg wasn't better yet.
Well, plus
it was
COVID.
In Arizona. No, we're going to be out in the middle of the desert. It was going to be we wouldn't have been restricted.
You would have been 6 feet apart at least.
Well, I don't think anyone in the Greer camp really cares. I mean, we're looking for aliens. I mean,
Well, still, I mean, COVID was raging. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't know if it was raging, but okay. This is just 3 months ago. But anyway, the point of the matter is I had tickets. I got a refund, all that stuff. But anyway, if you think they're aliens, then you got to say to yourself, the aliens are here. They've been here. They're coming here. They're, blah, 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 blah. We've been working with them or not, but whatever. You think they're aliens. Then within that, you're like, they're friendly, or guess what?
They're unfriendly.
We've got an alien war. We got to pretend Armageddon's on the way. Well, maybe not Armageddon the movie, but
Project Blue Beam, whatever.
Independence Day. Yeah. Some of these phenomena match reports made prior to the advent of jet propulsion. So if that's accurate, they're not ours. Exactly, sir. Exactly. His other comment was right on point too. So then you got to say, are they hostile or not? Well, I think the multiple extraterrestrial grace theory is what we're dealing with. So there's different kinds of them out there. It's not. People say, well, they say that they look, very different. Some look like reptiles, some look like, yeah, but all the people that said they saw reptilians on every continent, on every country that they were in, all say the same story. The ones that interact with grace, they have the same story. And these people did not know each other before, and they have not talked to each other. And there are different kinds. And these, so I don't know. I mean, you know what? Maybe, I've just decided I'm going to stop caring about, just like I stopped caring about Star Trek after Discovery and after Picard. I now do not care about government disclosure anymore because I know what the hell's going on, in my opinion. I've read enough. I've seen enough. I've heard enough.
I don't think that the government is going to disclose anything. If there is disclosure, I think it's going to come from whatever is piloting those craft.
I agree with you completely.
Because
did you freeze? Cardinal and Fringe. Oh, Mexican Island man. Hey, Darren, let me ask you a question. When it comes to Greys, Nordics, Reptilians, from what you read and studied, I can't remember. Is it the Nordics that are the nice ones or they're the mean ones? I can't remember. I know the Greys are the ones that are like, robotic weirdos, and the Reptilians, not necessarily the friendliest on the planet either. But, Cardinal Sin's all locked up. I hope we're still streaming out there. We're still streaming out there? I hope YouTube didn't nix us. Because YouTube does not like these types of topics. I know that for dang sure. No, we're still going. We're still live. I'm live. Cardinal Sin isn't. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have to tell you, Cardinal Sin is running this stream. So if he has to restart his computer, this stream might just end and might just stop. Because if he does, oh boy, there he goes. Well, it looks like I'm the host of the show for now. Let me go over to the chat, see what's going on in the comments, and see what's going on. Unfortunately, I can't bring your comments up on screen because I'm not running the show tonight. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. My baseline assumption, okay, this is from Ivan Ivanovich. My baseline assumption is that anything the government discloses is a red herring. Did we cover that one already? Yeah. Let's see. What I like what Darren said earlier. Darren, I really like what Darren said. You can't own the sky if you don't own the sky. That's why the U.S. hasn't admitted to UFOs up until last year. I concur wholeheartedly. In fact, there's been recent private articles that have talked about some of the private efforts that are made to launch sensors. Things that we thought were satellites for the purposes of internet are really private sensors designed to monitor different different atmospheric levels in terms of, say every 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet, and so forth. Welcome back, Cardinal Sin. Great to have you for the Cardinal Sin channel.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was abducted. I had 2 hours of missing time, which they compressed into a minute. And I'm just surprised to be back, and my ass hurts.
Okay, when we're talking about disclosure, there is some disclosure that we want to keep a lid on, and that would be kind of that kind of disclosure.
Was that TMI?
Yeah, that is too much information disclosure. Gogo just sent you some taco and coffee, buddy. Thank you, Gogo13.
Thank you,
Brandon the Infinite Wolf. I'll tell you, Brandon,
much appreciated, sir.
Much appreciated, brother. Man, typing that name out on if you're listening to a stream on your iPhone, it takes 14 years in a day.
Oh, I know.
If you're not at a computer, I love the short name like Lagerfan has. That's a cool name.
Actually, I don't understand why on a computer they would put in a button that as soon as you hit it, it turns your computer off completely.
Yeah, that
makes no sense to me.
Lagerfan brings up an interesting point. If you were abducted by aliens and taken through a time-space wormhole warp where what to us was 30 seconds to a minute, for you may have been much longer, I'm curious why you don't have a headache and instead you have a butt pain, because I would think that they wanted to probe your mind first, but maybe that's not your most
there's no mind to probe, sir. There's no mind left to probe.
But there is plenty of ass to research, isn't there?
Evidently, they like the soft tissue. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Maybe they gave me some sort of alien enema.
No, God, someone give me control of the mute button for that guy. Oh, God. Well, in any case, going back to Bryn Blake Cousins, this is what these guys did. I'm going back to 20 minutes ago. So these guys issued a challenge because they're very much Steve Greer type guys. Okay, they're definitely in that camp, right? And you know, and Dolan is a huge proponent of the work that's been done by To the Stars Academy, To the Star TTSA.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Ivan Ivanovich was a good point. Sorry, I was reading the chat for a second. But anyway, so, you know, he's a huge proponent. He basically says, look, the disclosure we've got, you know, it's interesting. You got Dolan saying the disclosure we've gotten is because private guys went out and made it happen through their relationships, their contacts, and because they thought it was the right thing to do. He doesn't believe this is a psyop. He believes Elizondo's real. Doobie-doo, dabby-dabby-dabby-da. Okay, you got that, right?
Scooby-doo, doobie-doo-doo.
Yeah. I love we're just that. Moving fast because, dude, we're not dealing with a rookie audience. The people who come to this channel, whether they watch us live or they listen to us later, we do not have rookies. This is what I love about the people that show up here and listen to us or listen to you or me or whatever the guests is that they're not.
You're my expert co-host. They're here to listen to you and to me.
Yeah, I'm just saying the chat. But I'm just saying we don't have a rookie chat here. These aren't like, you know, what's a UFO? What's an unidentified airplane? You know, we got people that are learning it. Anyway, I digress.
And we have skeptics in the audience, which I approve of and appreciate.
Of course we do. So then you got Dolan saying that the To the Stars Academy is not a psyop. He says, you know, if it wasn't for these guys, you know, fighting the good fight, as he always likes to say at the end of his every cast that he does, then, you know, we wouldn't have what we've got lately. I don't know about that, but whatever. That's what he says. Then you've got, you know, guys like, you know, the Greer camp, the Cousins camp, and all that stuff. And they're basically, you know, aliens are here. We talk to them. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. They're peaceful. We need to be peaceful. And all this stuff is just a ploy so we can get the people to, like, you know, like, and there's some kind of conspiracy to potentially have like a mock either real fear and or a mock Independence Day in the offing. Then you have people like Stephen Bassett, who for well over 20 years are basically saying that disclosure is just something that's a natural, that there's just a momentum to it, and it's going to happen, and it's going to happen for political reasons, and it's, you know, well, we're not going to go into that because we spent 2 hours on that 2 weeks ago. But those are all the different camps. And as far as where I sit, I don't even give a shit about disclosure anymore. I'm so pissed off that this report's going to suck. I'm so pissed off that it's going to be late. I just don't care anymore. And I think, you know what? I agree with you. I think
it's almost as bad as when George R. R. Martin said that he'd have Winds of Winter ready by last year's Worldcon, which is the World Science Fiction Convention. And if he didn't, that you could hide him in a hobbit house and guard it, and he would finish it there. But
yeah, that never happened either.
That's because of COVID. He didn't go.
Well, I'm quite sure he's enjoying the checks that he's depositing.
And he has his own choo-choo train, apparently.
He's never going to finish that shit. That's just never going to happen. That's just never going to happen.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But anyway, I distracted you again. I'm sorry.
No, I'm reading Liger fans. He says, I guess Mexican Alien Man is declaring that he knows not of the recent anal probing by his avoidance of the subject matter. Oh, God. We got some of the funniest and smartest people in here.
I tell you what, we do.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know. I'm going to ask the folks here in the chat. What do you guys think about this report? Go ahead. Throw up a comment. What do you think? We've already gotten at least one DOD film taken in DOD test areas and attested by DOD eyewitnesses. That's why I'm very skeptical of this event. Yeah. I mean,
know what that reminds me of?
What?
Mexican Alien Man.
What?
It reminds me of when Gordon Cooper was at an Air Force base in either New Mexico or Arizona. I don't remember
New Mexico.
which. New Mexico.
Yeah, it was New Mexico.
And they had just finished filming a UFO that came down to the ground, sprouted landing gear, landed,
What just happened?
I believe humanoid entities came out.
What happened?
They were filming the entire thing like they had advance notice that this was going to happen. And Gordo took the film over to the he took it over to the base's film developing department and said, get on this stat. And then after that, he got a message that someone was coming to pick it up, like a high-ranking general or something, and that he was to take the film and put it into the courier pouch, and not make prints or copies or anything like that. But he did hold it up to the light, and it did exactly show what they told him that it showed. That's what it reminded me of. So I am going to go ahead and go through some comments here and see what you guys think about this report. If you want to talk a little bit about, do you think it's going to be a bunch of redacted bullshit? Do you think it's going to be ET? Do you think that they're going to say, what they've been saying in Waffle, and, we don't know what it is, but it's not from here or whatever? What do you guys think? Galgo 13, aka Brandon the Infinite Wolf. One way or another, a lot of cows were injured in the process. True. So help us out here in the chat. What do you guys think about this this whole procedure? This whole report, which our tax dollars are funding. Why is there a classified briefing? And why is there a declassified briefing? Why can't the citizens know the truth? Is it that we can't handle the truth? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think that the UFO community, as it were, may know more than the government knows. That's probably why the government has so many people at UFO conventions, because they want to see what's being talked about. When Leah Haley was abducted by the military, right after she'd been abducted by aliens, allegedly on exotic craft, the military debriefed her and asked her, well, asked might be the wrong term. They very seriously asked her what it was that the aliens told her. So evidently they do not know as much as we do, collectively, I mean. So give me your ideas about that, please. So Eli McInnes, they will do everything to keep their lies and truths to themselves. They are going to say it's not ET, but we don't know exactly what it is. I think you're probably right. And Galgo 13, aka Brandon the Infinite Wolf. Anything coming from the government, I do not take at face value. I agree. Liger Fan says they tell the politicians some of the classified stuff so they feel special. Isn't that special? Ivan Ivanovich, there's a classified briefing because there is a classified program involved. The truth is out there, but it is in the nuance. I think you may be onto something. Liger Fan says there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Sadly, it's an oncoming train. Yes, I think you're right. And Eli McInnes says the classified report will probably explain the tech they used to photo and collect data on unidentified aerial phenomena. All good questions. Each. Very good. Answers, rather. Sorry. We are having technical difficulties with Mexican Alien Man, but we do expect him to be back at any moment. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. For some reason, I have Rum, Sodomy, and the Lash by the Pogues on my mind. It's been an earworm since I woke up. And thank you for subscribing, Darren Wagner. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. I will be putting up a Patreon page in the near future. And when I say in the near future, probably in the next 2 weeks. I already have all of it sorted out. So if you want to support the Cardinal Sin channel, there will be various levels that you can do that with. I already have all of the channel subscriber levels done and ready to go, but I have to have 4,000 hours of view time and 1,000 subscribers first. So thank you for subscribing, Darren Wagner. You've just gotten me one closer to that 1,000 number. Liger fan says they probably hit Congress up with a neuralizer after their briefing. Wrong Men in Black. Different Men in Black. So let's engage in a little dialogue. I'm unconvinced that the intelligence community, which was supposed to be all one big happy family when they created the Department of Homeland Security, are still in this compartmentalized clearance zone where, the FBI doesn't know what the CIA is doing, and the CIA doesn't know what the NSA is doing, and the NSA doesn't know what the FBI is doing. It's all a big, circle jerk in Washington, D.C., which I believe is something that our guest Stephen Bassett said. If you haven't seen the Stephen Bassett show, please watch it. It is really good. I'm very proud of it. It might be our best show so far. Mexican Alien Man was there. I was there. Stephen Bassett was there. And we asked him some tough questions. It wasn't all softballs. So please do watch that that Stephen Bassett show. I believe it is, let me see here. Actually, let me do one better. There's the Richard Dolan thing that Mexican Iron Man was talking about. Sorry, I'm going to vamp a little bit while I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see. I'm going to put that link into the chat so that you guys can see it. Let's take a look at that playlist. And there she blows. There she blows, matey. So I will grab this and copy it and then put it back into the chat. And this is the link to our interview. More of a freewheeling conversation, really, with Stephen Bassett. I'll leave that up on the screen so that you guys can check it out. By the way, if you have any problem finding my channel, you may now simply go to youtube.com/Cardinal Sin, all one word, and it's easy peasy Zambezi. So, and let me continue one more. And because the Stream Elements bot is here, where is it? Okay, so the Stream Elements bot is running, but the tip jar is not. So if you should like to tip me, you may do so here. And I will leave that up on the screen for a little while. Mexican Alien Man says, FML, this is alien involvement. FML. Frickin' Mexican life. No. I don't know. So Mexican Iron Man also says, I am stuck without a mic. I think my USB shorted out. To which I will say, try another USB port or try the microphone on your webcam, because almost every webcam has a microphone these days. Even some of the older ones. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the information that Mexican Alien Man was going to share with us. Pardon me. Okay. Let's see if I can make that a little bit bigger. Richard Dolan plus third phase of moon, the disclosure debate plus secret space UFO. So this is Brent and Blake Cousins that a Mexican Alien Man was talking about. And tickets are only $30. I can see 2 Bad Religion shows for that. Event details. Discussion for 90 minutes about disclosure between the Cousins brothers and Richard Dolan, plus new film screening Q&A. 4 hours. Okay. About the event. First part to the event. Discussion for 90 minutes about disclosure. Third phase of moon. Tic Tac UFO. Second part to the event, worldwide film premiere and discussion about secret space UFOs part 1. And of course, what that means is that they couldn't get any EBE awards on the film circuit. So it may be that entirely possible that that they had this thing out for 6 months and could not get back without even an honorable mention. That's usually what happens. It runs for an hour and 25 minutes. The film features Stanton Friedman, Darcy Weir, Carey Martinick, and Lee Lustig. Well, if it features Stanton Friedman, then they've definitely been playing this around on the festival circuit, because Stanton Friedman died 2 years ago. So I'm not terribly impressed with that. But it continues. There's a little trailer here, it looks like, and another little ad, which I will not run. Otherwise, I will get a copyright strike that will take me a copyright. What is the word? Not a strike. It's not a copyright strike. It's a copyright notice. But actually, I do have some things that I can bring to bear to help with that. By the way, I'm playing XCOM while we talk about this. Ivan Ivanovich, can you tell us what XCOM is? I'm unaware. I don't game as much as I would like. I'm like a one button, one joystick kind of a guy. I learned how to use the PlayStation 3 controller so I could play Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, which I really enjoyed. I bought Fallout 4 for my PC, but I just can't control all those buttons on the PC. So evidently, Mexican Iron Man loves XCOM. But please elucidate. I have no idea what that is. Let's see here. I have a overlay that I would like to take advantage of here. Let's see. And I have another one. Oh, it's not translucent. But this one is. So if I put that up before I share a trailer, then I may have a bit more luck with the people, at least at YouTube. I'm not sure if the algorithms will recognize it as anything, but it is a fair use copyright notice, and it mentions the specific parts of the law that involve fair use, which includes criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research. It is not an infringement of copyright. And by the way, I believe parody or satire is also covered by that. But we're not here to parody or satire anything. Not really. So, having said that, let's go ahead and go to our got to figure out how to do this, though. It's a one-man show, ladies and gentlemen. It is a one-man show when Mexican Alien Man is not here. Sometimes you got to kind of roll with the punches. Okay, here we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead and watch this on YouTube. And first, I am going to make sure that everybody can hear it. And I would like you in the chat to please let me know if you can hear it or if you can't hear it. So we'll go back 5 seconds and we'll start over. Can you hear okay? Whoops. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I do not appreciate that. Probably because I didn't hit the share audio button because I didn't think that we were going to look at anything that had any audio. Okay, let's give this another go. Please let me know if you can hear this.
We choose to go to the moon.
The rules for debunkers. First.
Hi, I'm Richard Olin. Join me on July 3rd for a 4-hour special online event.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. Sorry.
Is being a robot, taking your brain out and just going to work and doing and never thinking outside the box. That's how they classify sanity.
So there were indeed sanitizing methods or pre-planned scripting that was going on during the Apollo program to help control exactly what the public saw and heard. And this kind of censorship during those lunar missions happened a lot more than most people are aware. We're just scratching the surface of that subject here.
The Westall incident is an absolutely fascinating flying saucer incident. It's probably the largest mass witness daylight sighting of a flying saucer, certainly in Australia and probably in the world.
Whoa. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's what I'm afraid of. It's going to be sanitized before it's declassified. All right, nifty special effects, guys. I've got better special effects in my introduction than that. Okay.
Hi, I'm Richard Olin. Join me on July 3rd for a 4-hour special online event in which I will be discussing and debating everything about UFOs with a couple of controversial guys. These are the Cousins brothers of the channel Third Phase of Moon. Oh, yes. I'm diving into that one.
Hail, Captain Trek.
Is the current UFO information that's been coming out genuine or is it disinformation? What's up with Lou Elizondo, who I featured as a guest on an event that I recently hosted? Was the Tic Tac UFO something we built or something beyond? And what's the importance of the upcoming UAP Task Force report? Yes, all that and more in the form of a conversation, which will undoubtedly become a debate. Want to know the truth? I'm looking forward to it. This event will also feature filmmaker Darcy Weir, who's going to give a first viewing of his new film, Secret Space UFOs Part 1. It's good. Afterward, we're going to have an extended discussion of what we all think is going on with that. How advanced is our own secret space program? Are there ETs out there? And so on. So, July 3rd, on Eventbrite, 4 hours. Should be informative and quite possibly entertaining.
Hi, Darcy Weir here. Documentary filmmaker, researcher, and disclosure activist on the UFO topic. I'm excited to be taking part in this event as well coming up. I'm going to be showing my latest film, and I will also be running the stream and moderating the discussion between the famous YouTubers, Blake and Brent Cousins from Third Phase of Moon, and historian and well-educated man on the UFO topic, Richard Dolan.
Okay, so I have a lot to say about what we just watched. Stanton Friedman was never mentioned except in the trailer itself. Nobody talked about him because he's dead, unfortunately. I was lucky enough to put on Stanton's lecture here in Lawrence, Kansas. You can also find that lecture on youtube.com/Cardinal Sin, all one word. And it's a very entertaining and a rather long one. It's chock full of information. So if you're interested in what Stanton Friedman really has to say, his lecture is called UFOs Are Real, with an underline on R. He started out as a nuclear physicist. He worked on fusion propulsion for rockets and other technologies. The way he put it, he would work for General Electric or Western Electric for about 6 months on a nuclear fusion. Then he would move along to some other subcontractor when that program was shut down, and et cetera, et cetera. And then he picked up a book by, I don't remember. I think it was Flying Saucer Serious Business, which is a great book. Everybody should have that in their library. And that's when he got into UFOs, and the rest is history. I will take a quick moment to say hello to my friend Brett Cohen. Good morning, folks. Take it you're all about to end. Bugger, missed it again. No, sir. No, sir. We have another 40 minutes to go. You missed Alien Mexican Man. Mexican Alien Man? Man, who is this Mexican man who's an alien? I don't know. It confuses me. I'm not sure. I lost my dog. Anyway, thanks for being here, Brett. Appreciate it. And I've never heard of any of these people other than Richard Dolan. I mean, I've heard of the Third Phase of Moon, but they're, even though they're a big time UFO / YouTube channel, they're pretty penny ante in my book, because I bring on the hardcore guests. I bring on the speakers, the lecturers, the authors, the researchers, the eyewitnesses. Pretty soon coming up, we're going to have Travis Walton. We're going to have Tracy Torme, who wrote the screenplay for Fire in the Sky, and he wrote The Phenomenon, the movie everyone's talking about that James Fox put out. He is the creator and showrunner of the TV show Sliders, if anyone has seen Sliders. He is possibly the world's foremost authority on the TV show The Prisoner. So we have lots of really cool people lined up. Kathleen Martin, who famously co-wrote Captured with Stanton Friedman and a couple other books. will be a guest coming up soon. And don't tell anyone, but once the channel gets a little bit bigger, we're going to have Mike Barra on. So stay tuned to this space. And I don't mean the kind of space they were talking about in the promotional material. So let's see here. What else? I think it's just another YouTube thing, but we can check it out. Oh, first I have to put up my disclosure. Not disclosure, sorry. My fair use warning to prevent the evil, wicked algorithms and artificial intelligences at Google from striking me down. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see what we have to see here.
Hi, I'm Richard Olin. Join me on July 3rd for a 4-hour special online event in which I will be discussing and debating everything about UFOs with a couple of controversial guys. These are the Cousins brothers of the channel Third Phase of Moon. Oh yes, I'm diving into that one. Is the current UFO information that's been coming out genuine or is it disinformation? What's up with Lou Elizondo, who I featured as a guest on an event that I recently hosted? Was the Tic Tac UFO something we built or something beyond? And what's the importance of the upcoming UAP Task Force report? Yes, all that and more in the form of a conversation, which will undoubtedly become a debate. Want to know the truth? I'm looking forward to it. This event will also feature filmmaker Darcy Weir, who's going to give a first viewing of his new film, Secret Space UFOs Part 1. It's good. Afterward, we're going to have an extended discussion of what we all think is going on with that. How advanced is our own secret space program? Are there ETs out there? And so on. So, July 3rd, on Eventbrite, 4 hours. Should be informative and quite possibly entertaining.
Hi, Darcy Weir here. Documentary filmmaker, researcher, and disclosure activist on the UFO topic. I'm excited to be taking part in this event as well coming up. I'm going to be showing my latest film, and I will also be running the stream and moderating the discussion between the famous YouTubers, Blake and Brent Cousins from Third Phase of Moon.
How can they be famous if I've never heard of them?
Historian and well-educated man on the UFO topic, Richard Dolan.
Yeah, I think this is all about Richard Dolan. I'm not sure how they got Richard Dolan on their show before I did, because I've been hounding him for months now. No, I'm kidding. I haven't. I have sent an email or two, but he's a busy guy. He has his own program. If you go to richarddolanmembers.com, it's behind a paywall, but that stuff comes out onto YouTube, a year or two later. Sometimes he puts out stuff on YouTube that's much fresher than that. And I'd like to say hello to my good friend, Andy Masterson. Hail. And of course, Eli McInnes has very good taste. The album Rome, Sodomy, and the Lash is not a bad thing to get stuck in your head. Yeah. For some reason, I woke up today and the song A Pair of Brown Eyes was going through my head. Now, I haven't listened to that album for months, but when you get older and you have early onset dementia, I wonder if well, I haven't been diagnosed with it, but I'm led to understand that the deal is that your short-term memory becomes garbage, but you remember a fight that you had with a kid in second grade, and you remember his name or something like that. So, Mexican Iron Man. Typing from phone, PC running Windows update. Oh man, I hate Windows. I know you have to use Windows for Streamlink and StreamYard and OBS and all that kind of stuff. I'm a Mac guy. I have a Power. Well, it's not a Power. It's a Mac Pro sitting right next to my PC. But I'll spare you the story about that. I'm more of a Mac guy, but had to get a PC for the channel, a business expense, if you will. So at least I'll be able to write it off. And I am just getting rid of that now. So we'll find out soon if that copyright notice about fair use made any sense. So my thoughts on this disclosure, as it were, are that I think what we're going to get in the declassified report is going to be very different from what the Congress gets in the classified report. Obviously, or they would just do them both at the same time. I can't shake the feeling that we're going to get a sort of a mixed bag of stuff that we've already known for a long time. Maybe some more of these grainy gun camera footage, film of UAP, which they intentionally degrade because they don't want America's enemies to know how good their radar is. Apparently, though, they have this radar, a forward-looking infrared radar pod underneath their fighters, and it was a new technology in 2004, and they happened to have one when I think on the Princeton off the Catalan Islands. I think they said it was 100 miles southeast of San Diego or south of San Diego. Anyway, it's a new kind of radar. It's much more powerful. It can see a lot further. And I've heard, first of all, the two pilots, Commander Fravor and Commander Dietrich, both had people in the back of their jets. All four of these people, military pilots, saw the flying saucer, the Tic Tac, whatever. And Fravor wanted to get a better look, so he spiraled down. And as he did, the UFO spiraled up to meet him. It's definitely under intelligent control. They played with these jets, F-18s or whatever they are. This thing literally ran circles around them. I don't think that engendering this type of activity as a threat is correct parlance. I think there needs to be a different acronym that doesn't include a T for threat, because these things are not threatening. As long as we're not trying to shoot them down, we may have some close calls, but there's never been at least anything on record about UFOs being dangerous. They did breach the airspace near the Capitol in 1952 for 3 weekends in a row. They sent our fastest jets after this huge fleet of flying saucers or whatever they were. And then when the planes got there, they would just disappear. And then they would go back to base, and then the UFOs would come back. And you can do your own research on this. This is 100% fact. For 3 weekends in a row in July of 1952, this happened. And I think that's when the whole threat thing started. But one thing that the Air Force has said in Project Blue Book, which was largely a public relations campaign, not really designed to find out any truth, although Blue Book Special Report number 14 actually contains some really interesting data on the true unknowns, which were about 5 to 10% of the cases that they investigated, which they all claimed were, like I said, weather balloons, swamp gas, temperature inversions, all this kind of nonsense. But the brass tacks on this situation is the Air Force isn't trustworthy anymore because they've lied to us from the beginning. That's why they're not part of this, whatever this is. They keep pushing back the disclosure date. I heard June 30th. I heard July 30th. I don't know when they're going to come out with it, but I do know that what's going to come out of it is going to be nothing we don't already know. It's going to be a bunch of horse pucky. And I'm interested in having a look. I'm sure it'll be available on the internet. It'll probably be, 10,000 pages long. But like I said, most of it will likely be redacted. They like to do that. They think that's funny. So just be prepared for that eventuality. I just don't think it's going to be any big deal. By the way, we do have a giveaway today at the end of the show, so please stick around for that. We will be giving away a copy of the great James Fox documentary Out of the Blue, which I got from James Fox, and it's among the best UFO documentaries that ever have been made. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. So let's talk about Oumuamua a little bit, because I know that's something that Mexican Alien Man wanted to discuss. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move this on over here to this side, and we'll have a look. Go away, all these ads. Could there be a link between interstellar visitor Oumuamua and unidentified aerial phenomena. Now, this is written by Avi Loeb 12 hours ago, which was the person that Mexican Alien Man was speaking about. The guy who is the chair of the astronomy department at Harvard and gave up the chair, which is kind of a big deal, actually, so that he could go on a speaking tour for his new book. And it says, a colleague of mine once noted that every morning there is a long line of customers stretching out from a famous Parisian bakery into the street. I wish someone would wait for my scientific papers with as much anticipation as Parisians eagerly stand by for their baguettes. So this is an artist's conception of Oumuamua, and it was described as extremely long and very, very narrow, like a pencil. First, the interstellar object discovered in 2017, Oumuamua, was inferred to have a flat shape that seemed to be pushed away from the sun as if it were a light sail. This quote unquote pancake was tumbling once every 8 hours and originated from the rare state of the local standard of rest, which averages over the motions of all the stars in the vicinity of the sun. Second, the Pentagon is about to deliver a report to Congress stating that some unidentified aerial phenomena are real, but their nature is unknown. If UAP originated from China or Russia and were a national security risk, their existence would have been revealed to the public. Hence, it is reasonable to conclude that the United States government believes that some of these objects are not human in origin. This leaves two possibilities, as Alien Man said. One, either UAP are natural terrestrial phenomena, or they are extraterrestrial in origin. Both possibilities imply something new and interesting that we did not know before. The study of UAP should therefore shift from occupying the talking points of national security administrators and politicians to the arena of science, where it is studied by scientists rather than government officials. And I certainly applaud that idea. Many or most UAP may be natural phenomena, but if even one of them is extraterrestrial, might there be any possible link to Oumuamua? The inferred abundance of Oumuamua-like objects is unreasonably large if they're purely of natural origin. With Amaya Moro Martin and Ed Turner, I wrote a paper in 2009 calculating the number of interstellar rocks based on what is known about the solar system, and assuming that these rocks were ejected from similar planetary systems orbiting other stars. The population of objects required to explain the discovery of Oumuamua exceeds the expected number of interstellar rocks per unit volume by orders of magnitude. In fact, there should be a quadrillion Oumuamua-like objects within the solar system at any given time if they are distributed on random trajectories with equal probability of moving in all directions. But the number is reasonable if Oumuamua was an artificial object on a targeted mission headed toward the sun, aimed to collect data from the habitable region near Earth. One might even wonder whether Oumuamua might have been retrieving data from probes that were already sprinkled on Earth at an earlier time. In such a case, Oumuamua's thin, flat shape could have been that of a receiver. Hence, Oumuamua was pushed by sunlight not for the purpose of propulsion, but as a byproduct of its thin, flat shape. A similar push by reflection of sunlight without a cometary tail were the traits of an artificial rocket booster that was identified in 2020 by the same Pan-STARRS telescope that discovered Oumuamua. This artificial object, named 2020 SO, was not designed to be a solar sail, but had thin walls within a large surface-to-mass ratio for a different purpose. At this time, the possibility that any UAP are extraterrestrial is highly speculative, but if we entertain this possibility for fun, then the tumbling motion of Oumuamua could potentially have been meant to scan signals from all viewing directions. I would personally add that it would also create artificial gravity, so anyone that's inside it, if it was piloted, would have artificial gravity. A predecessor to Oumuamua could have been a craft that deposited small probes into the Earth's atmosphere without being noticed because it visited before Pan-STARRS started its operations. I don't know about that. Along this imaginative line of reasoning, Oumuamua could have arranged to appear as coming from the neutral local standard of rest, which serves as the local, quote, galactic parking lot, unquote, so that its origins would remain unknown. One thing is certain. It came from a different star system. It is an interstellar object, and you couldn't point it at the Earth any better intentionally than it did, because its orbit changed and it gained more velocity than just a standard flyby slingshot. But rather than simply wonder about the possible scenarios, we should collect better scientific data and clarify the nature of UAP. This can be done by deploying state-of-the-art cameras on wide-field telescopes that monitor the sky. The sky is not classified. Only government-owned sensors are. By searching for unusual phenomena in the same geographical locations from where the UAP reports came, scientists could clear up the mystery in a transparent analysis of open data. As noticed in my recent book, Extraterrestrial, which is what Mexican Alien Man was referring to, that he was reading, I do not enjoy science fiction stories because the storylines often violate the laws of physics. Hey, talk about yourself. Speak for yourself, buddy. I'm a hard science fiction writer, and every time I write, I have a Google window open so that I can research the science that I don't know. So he's talking to the wrong science fiction writers, or possibly just not doing his homework. But we should be open-minded to the possibility that science will one day reveal that a reality was previously considered as fiction. And with that, I will agree. So let's take a look at his book, Extraterrestrial: The First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth. And you can get it as an ebook. It was an instant New York Times bestseller, and I'll tell you why. Since the beginning of computer connectivity, and I'm talking about way back when we had the BBS, the Bulletin Board Service, the second most researched topic, the second most searched on topic today after sex is UFOs. Always has been. I was the sysadmin for a BBS locally, and everybody wanted to know about UFOs. One thing that I don't really care for with Luis Elizondo is that he keeps talking about the threat aspect of it when it's clearly not a threat. If it were a threat, we would have been flattened years ago. And two, he continues this idea that the government has been putting out, or the DNI and the Defense Department, that they're not from here, but they could be some other nation, like China or Russia, which they know is absolute bullshit. And that he also says, we can't say for certain that aliens are behind it, but we can't rule it out either, which is a non-apology apology. If you read between the lines of that statement, we can't rule out that there's aliens behind it or extraterrestrials, but we can't rule it out either. What does that tell you? Please, in the audience, in the chat, what does it tell you when Lou Elizondo says we can't completely rule it out that it's ETs, but we can't say it is either? Let's get some discussion going here. You guys tell me what you think about that. Because I think when you read between the lines of what he says there, that we can't say it's ET craft, but we can't rule it out either. I just got done watching an interview with Luis Elizondo where he said they could be interdimensional, breakaway civilization, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Ivan Ivanovich is correct, of course, that's the wordy way of saying we know nothing. And I would say, even one further, that's the wordy way of saying they're ET craft, or they're craft not built on this planet. Every time they say, oh, it could be Russia or it could be China, it's ridiculous, because the United States has the most expensive, most up-to-date, most, budgeted Defense Department in the world, more than both China and Russia combined. And then after that, it goes way down. France, Germany, blah, blah, blah. They spend a great deal less on defense because they're NATO states, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which means we're going to cover their backside. The United States is going to come when they say help, which is what happened in Ukraine, because Putin didn't care much for having Ukraine being a place where U.S. missiles were stored, and they amassed a bunch of troops on the border, and the United States came in hot and heavy and said, no. Russia is also, and I think rightfully so, not happy with the idea that we have missiles in Turkey. But hey, that's just the way Turkey is. Eli McKinnis says, maybe he is just trying to say that he believes it's aliens without coming straight out and saying it, because then you would have to lay out proof for it, which he can't do. Good point. Good point. If in fact that's the case. Ivan Ivanovich says, I pretty much hold with it though. I've not seen enough to make me believe they are ET craft, nor would I agree that there is sufficient evidence to rule them out. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, what to make of the the constant, pushing back on the schedule of the declassified release, because like I said, Congress has already had theirs. You would think that all they have to do is cut out the classified parts of the classified briefing to declassify it, but that's probably not what's going to happen. I personally think they're going to be entirely different reports. I think there was a task force that was asked to produce the classified report for Congress, and I think there was another task force that was asked to create a declassified report for us, for the public, and ne'er the twain shall meet. There might be one or 2 points, that match, but I think it's going to be more of the same. The same as when General Roger Ramey said that the Roswell craft was a weather balloon and made Major Jesse Marcel sit down with a bunch of tinfoil and kite string and we're talking about the public information officer for the only, at the time, atomic bombing wing in the world. And he knows the difference between a freaking weather balloon and a flying saucer. And according to the people who were there, they were picking up the debris from the debris field for weeks and maybe months. And people have gone out there with, metal detectors and found nothing. So apparently they did a pretty good job. And then you've got, after that, Project Grudge, Project Sign, Project Blue Book, which were all PR campaigns, in my opinion. Although, like I said, if you get a chance to look at special report number 14 of Project Blue Book, you might want to put that into a Google window for a little later. Project Blue Book special report number 15. Oh, wait, Golgo, wait for the giveaway. We're almost there. Almost done. 7 minutes. Just give me 7 minutes. Project Blue Book was a absolute travesty, and it was, first headed up by Major Donald Kehoe. Then they brought in from Northwestern University, J. Allen Hynek, who is an astronomer, a scientist, to be the face of Project Blue Book. And for 20 years, he towed the line. He's the guy who invented the phrase swamp gas. Called everybody that saw UFOs unreliable witnesses. Said that they were seeing the planet Venus. I'm sorry, but if a UFO hovers over somebody's house and a beam goes down and people are abducted, or humanoids come out, take soil samples, take water samples, etc., that's not a weather balloon. It's not temperature inversion. It's not swamp gas. But he did come up with the term not unidentified flying object, close encounters of the first, second, and third kind, and then later the fourth kind, which was abductions. And after seeing thousands of cases, he changed his mind and stopped being a paid shill for the government and left Project Blue Book in 1969 when it was disbanded, and became a UFO believer, or at least not as much of a skeptic. I wouldn't say that you should believe everything that you see on the History Channel series that portrays him in Project Blue Book, because it took a great deal of creative license with the storytelling. But he did go to UFO sighting areas and take samples and do actual research. So he started out on the side of the government when they were trying to figure out what this stuff was. And then he came to the other side to try to figure out what this stuff was and tell the public, because the public has a right to know. We pay all of the people involved in the UFO cover-up, or the truth embargo, if you'd like to use Stephen Bassett's term. We pay their salaries through our taxes. They work for us. There's no reason that any UFO material should be classified. Defense, okay, sure, I can see that, but not UFO information. And I am equally as upset with the state of things, where the declassified report is being, pushed back as Mexican alien man is. So, without any further ado, I'd like to say hail to your Muslim uncle. And yes, it is Conan O'Brien's last show tonight on 10 p.m. However, it might only be his last show on TBS. Think about that. Because he got fucked over by that piece of shit, Jay Leno, who's never been funny. Ivan Ivanovich says, I broke with History Channel when they showed Planet of the Apes. I didn't know they did that. The end of an era, says Andy Masterson. Correct. Okay. So we have 7 people in the chat, and we're giving away the James Fox documentary, Out of the Blue, the 5th year anniversary. So it has 2 discs, the first of which is the feature movie, and the second of which has more special features than any other DVD I've ever seen. All the interviews with all of the witnesses, including military, police, first responders, etc. The material involved in this excellent documentary is just crazy. So what I would like you to do now is please pick a number between 1 and 6 and put it into the chat. I'm going to think of a number, and the person that gets closest or gets the number will win. So put a number into the chat between 1 and 6, and we will end the episode on that note. Now, Pat S. has already claimed number 6, so Ivan Ivanovich will have to pick another number, and it's over because Eli McInnes picked number 3. So, congratulations, Eli McInnes. Woohoo! So here's what I need you to do for me, pal, buddy of mine. I need you to send me an email with your shipping address, your mailing address, to my email address, which is bill@sunflower.com. Right there. Congratulations, Eli. Yes, indeed. Darius Munchausen, hail. Good to see you, brother. And I like the little flying saucer emoji that you got there. That's cool. So please send me, Eli, your mailing address to gil@sunflower.com, and I will pop your 2 DVD set into the mail right away, and it will be in your hot little hands probably within a week. My good friend Roger Holden is here and corrects me that Kehoe never worked for Blue Book. However, he was encouraged by Ruppelt's attitude toward UFOs, Blue Book's first director. I meant Edward Ruppelt. I apologize. Donald Kehoe was a very significant military and then former military advocate for UFOs. But yes, it was, in fact, Edward Ruppelt. Thank you, Roger, for correcting me. I appreciate that. Okay, well, since we are out of time, I'm going to say thank you for joining us tonight. I'm sorry that Mexican Iron Man's mic went out, but I'm sure by this time next week he will have a new one. As a matter of fact, I have one that I'd like to use, but it's just kind of ungainly at this point. And I need some filters because it picks up every damn thing. So before we go again, I would like to say thank you and hail to Liger Fan, Ivan Ivanovich, Bird of Prey 5, Draco Argentus, Darren Wagner, or Wagner, depending on whether he's German. I don't know. Certainly thank you and hello and hail to Galgo 13, aka Brandon the Infinite Wolf. Liger Fan, if I haven't mentioned him before. And I'm looking. Certainly thank you and hail to Mexican Iron Man. Eli McInnes, of course. Thank you for being here. And I really appreciate the help when you guys retweet my tweet and get the word out about the show. So if you haven't done so, please do so right after the show is over. Hail, Captain Trek. Good to see you, sir. Andy Masterson, hail. And Mark the Infinitely Tired. I was really glad to see you here, brother. We just need to get you on the Sunday show, or I need to do a show with you that's not on a Sunday. Thanks, of course, to your Muslim uncle and hail, and to Pat S. and Darius Munchausen. So the link will be in the description box below. If you guys would all be so good as to tweet it out, share it on your social media, put it on your Facebook page, what have you. If it isn't immediately available, it should be soon. And the more people we get into the Fringe, the better. So those are my feelings. And it is Cardinal Sin out.